Buying a condominium can be an awesome option if you're looking to get away from shoveling snow, or you don't want to do yard work, or you want someplace with a pool but you don't want to maintain the pool. But there are definitely things you have to watch out for. I'm going to give you 5 mistakes to avoid when buying a condominium. There are many reasons why someone would want to buy a condominium. You know, for starters, they make great first-time homebuyer homes. I personally was a first-time homebuyer condominium purchaser. My first place was a townhome. It was a great stepping stone. I didn't have to worry about mowing the lawn, clearing the snow, worrying about exterior maintenance. But sometimes people buy them because they only live in the area for a short period of time and they don't want to have to worry about, exterior maintenance or making sure that the home looks lived in while they're away. Maybe you're a downsizer and you don't want to deal with the exterior maintenance, and maybe you want some of those extra amenities. Regardless of the reason, the purchase process is the same, and there are definitely some things that you have to look out for. The number one mistake is not knowing what the association covers and what you are responsible for. Every association is going to be different. Some associations will cover everything from the studs out. So that essentially means that you own the walls up to the studs. You can change the color of the walls. You can put holes in the walls. You can do anything that doesn't affect the structural integrity of the property. And the condominium association takes care of everything outside of that. But there are things like windows and doors and skylights. Some associations will cover those, some will not. Some will take care of decks, some will not. Some will shovel the snow right up to the front door. Some will clear your parking space and say, keep a shovel in the garage because you're responsible for your own doorway. The best thing you can do is to get a copy of the rules and regulations and the master deed prior to making an offer. Now, this is not always possible, especially now in the market that we're in. So you want to make sure that you put a contingency in the offer that gives you time to not only get those documents, but time to review those documents. That way you can fully understand what is covered, what is not covered. The second mistake you want to avoid is not knowing if there are restrictions on renovations. Now, even though you may have a condo association that is a studs out condo association, so everything from the studs in you own and you can maintain and change in any way you like, there may be rules on what you can do inside. Are there restrictions on the type of flooring you can put in? Some condo associations don't allow hardwood floors. Hardwood floors are louder, they create echo, and some associations just don't allow those to be put in. If your condominium doesn't have central air and relies on window AC units, does your association allow you to put an AC unit in the window? If you're in a townhouse and it has a basement, are you allowed to finish the basement? Are there any restrictions on what you can do for finishing the basement or any other part of the condominium? These are all things that if they're not mentioned specifically in the HOA docs, to reach out to an HOA representative or a trustee to ask those questions before you get too far in your transaction. Mistake number 3 is not checking the budget for reserves and special assessments. So every month, a portion of your condo fee goes into a reserve account. That reserve account is set aside for unexpected expenses. Things that are not on the regular maintenance list, repair list, things that are not scheduled but need to be taken care of are taken out of the reserves. You want to make sure that there's a healthy amount. Every association has a different amount depending on the size of the association, but you want to make sure that there's sufficient amount of money in that reserve to cover any unexpected expenses. Now, it won't necessarily cover all expenses. So if, for example, we have a real big storm and the roofs collectively were damaged, unexpected, repair was needed for the roofs because they were really affected, or a tree came down or whatever, natural disaster. Then at that point, they might attach a special assessment to cover the cost of that repair. But one of the things that you can do prior to buying the condo is to find out if there's anything pending. A simple call to the association will tell you if there's anything on the books or coming. Just because the homeowner doesn't disclose disclose to you that there's a special assessment. They may not even know at the time that there's a special assessment coming. If there's nothing, to disclose today, it doesn't necessarily mean that something won't be coming in the future. So it's worthwhile talking to the association to find out how much they have in reserves, and are there any pending special assessments, so that you don't have any unexpected expenses when you move in. Mistake number 4 is to check the pet policy. Some condominium associations are very lax, and with a few exceptions of, maybe dogs is probably the most common one, dogs that are on the special list, particularly aggressive breed dogs, the condominiums typically don't allow, but some are very lax, and they'll say you can have a small dog, you can have a medium-sized dog, you can have a cat, you can have a lizard, you can have a bird, you can have whatever, but some are not. Some actually require written application, written approval for any number of pets, including cats. I know that there's a lot of misconception that the pet policy would primarily, affect dogs. But if you're a cat owner and you're bringing a cat, you would definitely want to check the pet policy to make sure that there's nothing in there that doesn't, that forbids you from bringing any animals in of whatever type of breed, and to make sure that, cats are okay. And the last mistake that you don't want to make is not understanding the condo fee. Knowing exactly how much the fee is, asking when was the last fee increase. Do they have regular fee increases, or is it the type of thing that they increase the fee based on need in the budget? And are there any scheduled increases? Some condo associations increase the fee on a regular basis, a scheduled basis, every year, 2 years, 3 years. Some condo associations only increase the fee as the budget requires. So you'll have a fee that hasn't increased in 5-6 years, and now all of a sudden the cost of maintenance is starting to go up, so now they have to increase their condo fee. It's worth a phone call directly to the condo association trustee to find out if there are any scheduled increases planned, and for that matter, when the next annual meeting is, because typically at the annual meeting is when they make those decisions for scheduled fee increases. So those are the 5 most common mistakes that people make when they buy a condo. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you like more information on buying a condo, feel free to click the link below. A buyer guide will be emailed to you within minutes. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.